Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. A few months ago I cleaned out my depression room and I said I was going to take you guys on a journey with me as I do the makeover, but because I am lazy and I generally lacked interest, I just fell behind, which brings us to this video today. I'll be tackling the bed section of my room. I showed you guys a sneak peek, but the bed section is really just all about this Chanel-esque headboard, and that's what we're going to be making today. I lost some footage. In fact, I lost most footage of this video, so today we're going to take this piece of cardboard as if it was plywood, and then for the video you're going to need some foam, the different sizes and kinds. For this video I used a 1-inch foam. Wait, for the actual process, not this video is make believe. It is for the people who are visual learners, because I have to show you guys what I did since I lost footage. And then you're going to need some sort of fabric. Okay, so now you're going to get your plywood and you are going to mark, like you're going to actually measure the size of your bed and how high you want it to be, and then you're going to mark out the length and the width of the plywood. As you can see here, I decided to go for a more rectangular-ish vibe instead of just making it very high and mountainous. Also, I feel guilty because I just watched one home trend we need to die this year kind of video, and the guy was shaming people with high headboards. So I was like, you know what, I will be influenced by this guy. So once you do that, you're just cutting off the excess part again, because yes, I was shamed and I decided to change. So I'm going to quickly go on a calculator and then I'm going to calculate how many panels I want. The width of this plywood was 18.5 centimeters, so I'm going to divide it by 5 because I kind of want 5 panels and it gives me 3.7. So that means that I will be marking 3.7 centimeters on the plywood. So what this is for the actual those Chanel long tuft things that you're going to do. And once you do that, you're going to mark it on the foam. You actually don't need to mark it on the plywood, you're just going to mark it on the foam because that's what you're actually cutting. And then once you do that, you're just going to cut off the foam into the various number of parts. You can see what I'm doing, it's self-explanatory. Okay, so those are the 5 panels I'll be using, and here's the material. So for this, I actually watched a couple of videos to pick which one was the easiest. So there was this one girl where she was like, you will put the fabric over it and then you will staple it, and then you will put the next one and then you will staple it. And when I tried to do that practically, it did not work for me. I know that this version is a longer version than that one, but this is the one that worked for me. So in this version, what we're going to be doing is we're going to take our pieces of foam that we have cut out and we're going to cut twice as much fabric for the foam, and then maybe for the length, like maybe lengthwise, we're going to do upwards of 4 inches extra. I know that most people in Africa use centimeters to measure, but I basically learned on YouTube and all the YouTube people use inches. So I'm very sorry if I'm going back and forth metrics on this, but that's just because that's what it is, like that's the figures I have top of my head. Okay, so once you cut out the 2 sides, you're going to use that fabric as a stencil, and then you're going to cut the rest of the pieces. So I've cut the rest of the pieces and I'm back, and I'm just showing you guys that I have cut 5 different pieces for the 5 pieces of foam we are going to be covering. So the method we are going to be using, in actuality, I tried to glue this thing down and my glue and the fabric wasn't working. If you use fabric glue, maybe it's going to work, but I used shoe glue and it didn't work. So in the end, I had to kind of sew my panels. I ended up pinning them at the back, but sewing was the easier thing to do. So as you can see in the video, I'm just sewing it down all round, and I'm trying to be very strategic on how I do this so that it kind of saves me more time, and also it covers up the foam pretty well. And when you do this, you want to stretch the fabric so that it's not wonky or it doesn't have allowance in the front. It's just straight and it's nice and it's tight. we want it to look very profesh. So there you have it. I finished number one, and this is what it's going to look like. I went behind and I finished number two, and the glue I'm going to be using today is uhu glue, which is a kind of fabric glue. But for this DIY project, you actually want to use shoe glue or some kind of heavy duty glue that is going to glue your foam to the plywood. It's basically self-explanatory. You just glue everything down and then you put something heavy on it to press it down until the glue gets dry, and then voila, you have it. This is what the headboard should look like, and don't bother about the under part. It doesn't really matter because it's going to be in your bed. So when I lost footage, this is what I was trying to use to explain to you people, but then I was like, you know what, I'll just go through the whole process I just did. So as you can see, that is me with my shoe glue. You should not do this on your bed. I stained my bed sheets with glue and it doesn't come out. So yeah, so as you can see, I'm still gluing it down because some of it got loose, and then I'm just going to use this hair clip to hold it in place while it gets dry. So as you can see, my bed had just a basic headboard which I did not like, so I wanted to zhuzh it up and, you know, make it extravagant with this Chanel Tufted Headboard. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So to install the bed is actually very easy. You have to like put your feet at the both ends of the bed and then press down, and then it's going to create like this open thing, and then when you do that, you can just fit in the bed and voila, your headboard is there. It's also very easy because it makes it removable, and on the plus side, that space behind there, I get to actually use it as more storage. So that's where I store like my bigger bags, because most of my bags were hanging in the past. So now I'm going to put like my bigger handbags there. Even though it's not safe, I had to go back and like put them in duster bags. Okay, so this is what we have, and then continue with the mood board. I wanted like some really cute pretty bedspread, so I had like this cover made for my duvet, and honestly I loved it at first, but somewhere along the way it wasn't giving what it was supposed to give, and I was like, you know what, but yeah, you're seeing me and my junior brother Rafa, and we're just trying to fit it in so that I cover up the other one because it was really ugly and dirty, and I thought that it was irreversible, but hello, things are resistant and they shock you. Anyways, so this is what it looks like. It's a pretty green color, and then the back is just some kind of very light purple. I'm really into pastels now, so you get the gist. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make up my bed with this bed sheet, which also I changed my mind because again, when you're doing room makeovers, you have an idea of what you want it to be like, but until you've executed that idea, then you're like, I don't like this, and then you change. So I feel like when you're doing things, you shouldn't just be prone to one thing. Like, you shouldn't make up your mind to be like, oh, this one thing. No, you should give yourself room for change. And voila, I did change it, and I washed the other duvet and it looks much more better, but it wouldn't iron properly. So this is what my room ended up looking like with the new duvet and my bed and everything. Let me know what you think about this video. You can go back to the original video and pick what you want me to show you guys next. This is what my room looks like in the night. I absolutely love it. As always, leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends. See you in my next video. I love you. Bye.